Hi folks, welcome to our tips tutorial. Today I'd like to show you how we can create a page specific component. And what that means is if you have a component such as the full screen slider and you want to display that particular component on a certain page and have different images displayed in that component, in other words specific to that one page or group of pages, I want to show you how to do that. It's actually fairly straightforward, quite easy to do. I'll say quite easy with a little grain of salt there because it depends on your experience and comfort level. But let's jump into Dreamweaver and I'll show you what to do. Now, the easiest thing to do is plan ahead and find a page that already has that particular component in it. In this example, you can go into the sliders folder. You could copy the full screen slider, or in this case, the index page already has the full screen slider on it. Let's make a few copies of the index page, just like so. Control C, Control V. And we'll call this test 1, and then we'll call this one test 2. Okay, let it update, and that's all we need. Let's just get rid of those extra ones there. I just wanted to show you how easy it was to copy and paste. So now we have two new pages. They're identical to the index page. They already have the full screen slider component in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to create two additional full screen sliders so that test 1 and test 2 can display different images than the index page. To do this, now it's pretty straightforward. We go to the library, we go to the sliders, we find the component, which is the full screen slider right here, copy, paste, and paste. So we have full screen slider copy 2. Now we're going to rename this. I like to rename them so they match the page that they're going into, or numerically. So full screen slider 1, 2, 3, or 4, or test 1. Right? When it asks you to update, just update. You're not really changing anything yet, so Dreamweaver just does that. And test 2. Okay, and update. Cool. So now with that done, there's one other step I want you to do. I want you to expand the component folder and find the actual library file and rename that as well. So slider hyphen test 1. All rules apply. Make sure you don't use spaces in the file names. All lowercase, no punctuation, just like that. Okay, so now we've updated our folder name and we've updated our library page name to match. Great, we're almost done. You would need to go in here and change the images in the images folder, obviously, to display whatever certain pictures you wanted to display. But you can now go into your new pages. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove the library file that's there and replace it with the new library file. So we just need to go find the actual component in the page. You may have to hunt around for it a little bit, but there it is right there. Full screen slider. And what we're going to do, this code in yellow, that's the actual library component. As you can see, library sliders, full screen slider LBI. Now you can manually update this where it says full screen slider. You can actually do the test 1 and then go over here and just do the test 1. Okay, that's the folder name and the library page name. You will need to physically go into those library pages, make some updates, and save it before the information down below changes. But that's just a quick and easy way of doing it. The other way of updating or loading in the page specific component is select the library item like so, delete it, hit enter on the keyboard right away without touching your mouse to create a little bit of white space, put your cursor in the blank space in between, and go to your assets panel. Go and find the library page which you've created to fit in here, and we're calling this full screen test slider 1, right? Remember that? That's why we want to rename the library page so it shows up in here, and then just hit insert. And now you can see that the path, library sliders, full screen slider test 1, and of course full screen slider test 1 LBI. Now it's loaded in. You just go to that library page, make your updates. And the same would apply for the test 2 page or any additional pages that you create. You can, if you like, you don't really have to. You could check the links up here and update the links as well if you really wanted to, but it's probably not necessary because that one style sheet will work for any copies of the component. But if you really felt you wanted to update that, you could update the link to the folder test1, and that's all you'd have to do is just find the folder name for your component and rename it as you did in the library panel earlier. Now let's take a look at another example, and that is updating a single component that is not within a folder. In this example, the only place you would find those is in the shared folder, and that would be any of the library pages here. Website name is a good example. If you wanted to have a different website name library component for a different page, you'd simply make a copy of it, rename it. Probably not going to show up overly well in the video. We're just going to call it website name 2. Okay, you would open that library page up, you would make whatever changes, Tempest 2 like so, and save. Now, the page that you want this website name displayed in, we'll use the test2 page here as an example. Open that up. Now, if you have a placeholder graphic, you can sort of click on that. If you don't, you can probably click on the library component if you can see it, but click on the placeholder or the library component, then switch over to code view. That'll get you down there a little bit quicker. In this case, it didn't work. Div website name, code view. There we are right there. Excuse me. There's the library item. Okay, you can simply update it to website name 2, or you can remove it. Simply click on it, go to the lib item, select it, delete it, hit enter a few times. I see it's left over a little bit of something there. Okay, put your cursor in there, go to your assets panel, and go find the website name 2 library page. There it is there, and hit insert like so, and that's it. And now you're done. That's how to update that particular component. Just replace the library page that was there with a new one.